very good from them. Controlling the money of FaZe every round they won. They would shut it down. And FaZe looked out of their depth of points as well, especially the likes of Alu. He seemed almost non-existent in the stage as well. Kirishima as well. It's a bit more forgiving for him. He's playing anchor B bomb site. Lots of rotations towards outside. But Alu, he gets, what, like 9 frags? Sure, that sounds okay. But for him, on an AWP map, you feel like he should be posting big numbers there. Haven't seen too much from him yet. But still, win the pistol right back into this one. FaZe on the T side now. 3 sets of armor, 2 smokes and a Molotov. That suggests they will go inside indeed. Smoke towards that lower ramp, maybe towards upper as well. Molotov the connector. We'll see where that comes in. Actually opting for Pop Dog here. A fast outside split as well, it seems as well. We'll get into it.
Rain taking that low. Good shot. Glock at range. As a response, though, he found the first pick ahead of time. Chris J falling and the bomb going down. It's advantage to FaZe. Tapping away as well. Rops, he hits him to 14, but the last shot is the last laugh, and Rops gets it. USB from range finds the headshot. Bomb continues to tick away. The kit's in the hands of Dennis. And everyone, look at the amount of red right now on the CT side. Gets hit around the same time and same damage, but still they're holding on. Rob swings to find Alu. Nico's got to get aggressive, but he's not aggressive enough. Already Dennis has got the defuse. As mentioned, he had the kit, so Nico gets the kills. That's all good and well. They get a bomb plant out. He'll have money. The question is, do they force now or wait one more?
They could force now. With him getting those 3 frags at the end, he can drop an AK-47 for his teammates. They could buy up armor. Same story for Rain as well. Can drop an AK. They have Tech 9s, 2 AKs, armor. It's certainly an option, but that is a high-risk play. The other option, of course, is to force up AKs in the 3rd round. That's more conventional, and it looks like that's the option to go for. No exciting gambles at this point.
You almost wonder, with the 4 timeouts, is it worth it to call a timeout then to make the team think you're going to force buy and then just rush with the pistols?
Yeah.
Because then they would be sitting back and you'd easily get another bomb plant.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Tactical timeouts in more ways than one.
Yeah, I mean, Kerrigan's kind of known, well, he's known for some BM timeouts too, but for being quite clever with timeout usage.
Yeah, it's always a risk. And it's one that probably could have paid off here, but not meant to be. Robs should find a few frags here. There's 3. That's quite nice.
4 in total, and the ace.
Yeah. Won't get too excited considering they've got Glocks, but still very...
I will.
You will.
I like yelling.
You're allowed to.
Thank you.
But I won't. But
Thanks,
it was
Dad.
still a very nice, good display of aim and managing to deny the bomb as well. I don't think he doesn't look too excited with it. Even flipping as the bird right now. So, why not?
Unintentionally.
Yeah. But,
this one was, the 4th one was worth actually getting a little excited about.
Yeah. Denying the bomb, that's the big deal there. So that's good news. Normally, when you're going to go that solo player, that bomb will go down, but I see him doing a very good job there. We're going to run number 18. Orbs coming out for Oscar. They know the AK is coming out in the 3rd, and they might be boosting on the server here. They will indeed. Dennis trying to look out if he can get that first pick. Nothing as of yet. This is a full default from FaZe. Decent buy, to be fair. 5 AKs across the board. Smokes. A couple of Molotovs to work with as well. Some flashbangs there. 3 firing. That's what Dennis was up, so it's a good job he fell back at the time he did. And the counter smoke on the CT side is to buy the CT side some time.
Just to give you an idea of team game versus individualism. For Mousesports, pretty much everyone is equal. 16 the highest amount of kills for Rops, 10 the lowest for Chris J. On Fazeclan, it's Nico and Rain. 17 for Rain, 16 for Nico, and 5 for Kiyoshima at the bottom. So it's very uneven, which I think speaks to the scoreline and the fact that Nico, especially in the last round of the first half, stepped up in multiple occasions. Oscar can't quite hit the shot toward A main. Flash in, just a little peek off it. He's instead going to be patient because he doesn't know if they've entered already to go toward E-box, and he knows they have to cross. Doesn't quite have the angle to get the jump on the shot, but he could swing out behind them. He's pushing down the lane. Rain's ready for it. Flashed off. Lowell doesn't know, and when he goes, the vision's back, and the kill is made. The early buy is going to work. First gun, it's Rops versus 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Works. And then some. 5 players surviving. Fazeclan, a pretty textbook round there. A few smokes deployed. Attacking the main choke points at the map. Main entrance, Pop Dog, Ivy as well, hitting the headshots. Alu with 2 frags, starting to come to life perhaps here. Rain and Kerrigan, and it's just going to be Rops remaining, but he's by the old vending machines now. The music coming in.
I know, I always forget there's music there, and I looked at my phone like, did I leave an alarm on?
No.
Like, is that me? Did I do that? I think the most memorable music, even though it's not a commonly played map.
Inferno?
Well, yeah, okay, maybe. I was going to say Italy.
Yeah.
Because it's everywhere. That
for me,
guy
like,
singing opera.
Like when we've seen those Thorin Chronicles bits, for some reason I just keep expecting to hear the Inferno music in the background. Like that would make sense to me. Like we're looking at that video. I think that's the music that stands out for me most.
Well, that's where he's sitting, is actually in the vault.
Yeah, exactly. So I was expecting to hear it playing in the background. That would have been perfect. But no, not yet. We're going to, I guess I was removed for this version of Inferno, wasn't I? I don't seem to remember it when I've played it or heard it.
Yeah, good point, actually. I don't know if it's in this version or not. It's not something I like,
No, I'm always
search for
it's like,
or
it's like the
actively
Spanish
look
guitar
for.
that was at the T-spawn. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be there anymore. Anyway.
The bells aren't there either.
That's true. What a tragedy.
Yeah. There's an homage.
Yeah, the little chalk drawing. Well, for now, Mousesports saving the M4 are down to an eco. Had some tight rounds and FaZe should be able to get back into this now. Alu starting to hit some decent AWP shots. Now takes down Oscar. Any other pistols? Drops towards inner. Trying to answer back with his M4A4, but nothing to find just yet. It's going to be up to Nico with the one tap. That's quite lovely. I'll take that. But Dennis was going to strike back, but Carrigan's got his teammate covered.
Thankfully.
Using the buddy system, we call that.
It's true. Never go home alone at night. Oh, does get one back to grab an AK-47. M4 for Rops. Potential for save written on it. Minute. Or I guess if you want to be technical. Bomb time to do so. Won't quite be a full minute. But that's the intended goal at this point in time. Lowell's got to be a little bit careful. Player at A main, he could be pushed, but we get to listen to the song again, Henry. That almost sounds like something we'd get in a restaurant, a traditional Polish restaurant here.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Mousesports do manage to recover an AK-47. That's in the hands of Lau for now. Same story for Robs as well, but he didn't find that weapon. He saved it from the previous. It will be FaZe closing the gap here. 10-9 will be the overall score mark. Second save loss bonus with a saved weaponry as well, which is a decent buy from Mousesports. I don't think they can afford an AWP. Oh, they can just about. Chris J could either use one or drop one. Of course, was the primary AWPer for so long on this team, but Oscar coming in, being the superstar he is, has taken over that main AWPing role. Chris does purchase it, and he goes with armor as well, so does he give it to Oscar? I'm not sure just yet. Certainly capable of delivering a performance on this map. That's a nice shot from Alu. Like we said, had a few misses on this map. But starting to wake up now. Nice little flick down. Chris J will be keeping the AWP, so we'll see where he can go with this one. Had a decent spawn as well. Doesn't commit towards Ivy. Just at the bomb train. Nothing too flashy. Looking towards main entrance, it seems.
All aggressive toward the E-box. Flashes over high from Rain. He's actually blinded himself with the way that bounced. Didn't really go to plan. Dennis will take down Rain. Kerrigan's going to follow up. Dennis has the same position, so he's got to be careful, Kerrigan. Oh, timing is everything. It nearly catches Dennis out this time. Kerrigan can't land the shots. Dennis is going to get closer as well with the smoke. He knows what Kerrigan's up to. He knows where he's playing. Death from above. 1979, if you want to be accurate on that one.
I knew you were going to say that.
Canadian band, I have to say it.
Yeah. Oh, 5-on-3 now. Nico, he has to be the danger man and step up here, but as Ally to strike first, Nico does go down. That's going to be the round concluded. Only one player survived it. Kiyashima, quiet game so far. Bomb down, 42nd, the position given away. Lau delivers the final headshot there, and after losing a couple in a row, having to eco, Mousesports are fighting back there. Doing a very good job picking up the secondary AWP as well for Oscar, of course, and just finding the frags. I have to say, Dennis has been impressing me. Like, he's a player that's had his criticism in the past, but this game has been pretty solid. Everyone's stepping up on Mousesports here and delivering impressive performance. Pretty much everyone's in double figures. Chris J at the bottom on 11 and 14. Next to him will be Dennis on 14 and 15. Everyone else on 15 frags. So everyone chiming in at 1 point. Number 21, double AWP setup here. Chris J and Oscar trying to open things up. Still money available for FaZe. Probably be their last buy. Maybe one more on the back, sitting the bomb possibility in Alu. Now he is hitting shots. Takes an Oscar at the upper ramp. 5-on-4. Do they fully commit? I think the answer is yes. All 5 players this side of the map. They want to get in there and get stuck in.
Ops certainly has stuck into that site. He's done very well. We got the ace there against pistols. This time gets 2.5. Dennis getting the follow-up, but Alu's got him in return, and Kerrigan's ready for the flank. Dink, however. So although it's a 2 versus 1, there's a chance for Chris J. Problem is he's on the AWP. I say it's a problem. Yet to be determined. Smoke off, no plant on B. He's read the fact that they've cowered away and gone back over to A, and his timing is perfect as well. If he can get in and get scoped in time, he could easily find the kills. Down goes Kerrigan. He was carrying the bomb. 1 versus 1, 59 seconds, and Lowell has to make a decision on, or excuse me, Alu has to make a decision on whether he plants or hunts. AWP versus AWP, and Alu lines it up. Foot shows. FaZe pick it up. We've certainly got a match.
Yeah, we do indeed. That was such a tense round as well. Rob seems to be the king of that inside area. T-side and CT doing a great job there. 2 spray down, and you thought, okay, he's done enough, but Fazeclan do answer back, and just comes down to the 2 versus 1. Chris J, great awareness, like you said. Here's the initial frag. Oscar taken down by Alu, who saves it in the end as well. Gets the first and last frag of round number 21. The scoreline now 11-10. Money pretty dire for Mousesports once again. 5-7 for Lowell. Dennis on the UMP. There is an orb for Oscar. Same story for Chris J as well. So everything they've got towards the sniper rifles. No kits. Little to no utility. 1 smoke and an incendiary. That's it. It's a huge round. Fazeclan will equal things up and put Mousesports on the league if they pick this one up.
Flash in. Will push Alu back. They're going to pursue. He can't hit, and no one on his heels to trade immediately. Nico can't save his friend.
It seemed like he was in a position to do so. I guess he was hoping he would overextend and try and pick up the weapon, but he actually just gets away after picking up the free frag on Alu there. 5 on 4. That's just what they needed. Especially the pistol. It's going to be sacrificial in that sense. Not a huge deal if it goes down. He finds the frag. That's amazing. And Oscar could find the second hit. Amazing. Takes down Kiyoshima as well. By himself. 5 on 3. Nightmare situation now for FaZe.
Rain. Back around toward Pop Dog. Molotov down to clear. Thinks better of it and decides to take a brawl straight up. No one down there. Little does he know. But he'll have heard the drop outside. Lowell from E-Box as Rain approaches closer and closer. Wide angle. Chris J hits Nico. Follow up from Rain. Now the peek from Lowell. He can't quite get the shot. He's shoulder baiting it back and forth though, and they bait Rain into a pretty well established crossfire. Mouse pick up a 2-point lead, or rather regain a 2-point lead.
Very good work from the CTs there. Up against it. Went for the double AWP setup. Forced around that with SMGs, pistols as well. Key frag towards main entrance. Finding Alu, who's been a thorn in their side in the second half. He's looked much better, I have to say. Opening picks are plenty. And once he was taken down, it funneled everyone towards inside. And you know what? That's what Oscar's waiting with that secondary AWP. Hits the shop. And a 5 on 3 comes in. Funnels him once again towards outer. And at that point, nothing really they could do. FaZe are out of it. It has to be a full eco here. Looking very likely to be 13-10 in favour of Mousesports. Plenty of money to work with here as well. They win this round, so it's looking very good for them. Fazeclan 0-2 in the major. Sure, talk about all the success you won at the previous events, but this is the one everyone cares about. This is what everyone aspires to win. This tournament would be such a tricky situation to get out of so early on.
Alu's grouped and ready. Kerrigan the only one that's not looking toward A main. He's heading down toward Ivy at this point. Decent shot, Chris, but no land. Certainly sends loud warning to Kerrigan that I probably with the pistol shouldn't go toward Ivy. Wouldn't be surprised if Oscar just fires in and wall bangs them at this point. They've been so long. Instead, it's going to be the can of flames. That'll slow them down further.
Yep.
And all roads at this point lead to A. Good setup as well. Dennis on top of the train should be able to cover them off, and Lowell can pop out and do exactly that. Only manages 2, but Dennis follows up. As does Oscar. No chance to get a bomb plant from FaZe.
No chance at all. There it is, 13-10. Do have money to buy for Fazeclan here. That was a full eco, as you can see. Their attempts to go outside thwarted there by the Flames, and 30 seconds remaining. It's grouping up. Given the easy spray down, as we did say as well, Mousesports with reasonable cash. Not amazing amounts. Fazeclan win this round. They're right back into this game, but you can see Kerrigan He's got the Tech 9. Alu down to the Galil as well. I assume Kerrigan dropped an AK-47 considering he spent $4,700. He wants to give a star, a weapon, potentially Rain or Nika, make sure they're fully equipped. He's happy to take the Tech 9. Normally a player that's faking towards Ivy to show him presence. It's not the fastest round, but Kiyoshima going for the inside presence at the very start. He's got teammates with him as well. Flashes coming in towards the lower ramp. This could be the inside execution here. More smoke towards connector, lower ramp, upper as well. Try and focus on the player Rops, who has been very good in this area, I have to say. We'll see now with the AK-47, can he do even more damage?
He's playing a little more of a passive angle this time. He's not quite hugging the inside of the plant position, or default plant position at that. Flames down. He'll be pushed out by an equal Molotov thrown his direction, but he gets up on top of the train. He's done damage to those entering, but he's overlooked the position because they marched through the flames. And a dance to the gods of fire will allow the kill, but Lowell gets one back bomb, goes down. FaZe will be desperate to hold it. 4 versus 4 in the retake. Dennis starts to work above the tanker, looks down the lane, but Lowell finds Kerrigan instead. That opens up a position for him to jump across, but he jumps into Rain, who's still watching from the hedge, found by Chris. They know where Alu is as well. That's one of 2 found. He's on top of the train. He's on top of it, though, which means the Molotov won't hit it, which means he can re-peek. And in re-peeking, he'll find 2.
Oh, took the right target to start that. Didn't go for the AWPer, and the CT player, Chris J, pulls his pistol out. Can't deny the spray of the Galil there. 13-11. That's quite huge for FaZe. It could have been game over if they lose that round. Certainly wasn't the cleanest of rounds, but taking down Rops to push down, everything was correct in that sense. A little bit dicey towards the end there in the 2-on-2 situation, but they pull through. Did save the money for Mousesports. Wasn't in an amazing position, but they will force into this. I've seen the AWPs come out. Famis's as well. Let's see what the final verdict is. We still have the $5,700 on Oscar as well. He has not even purchased into this round. So presumably they've taken a pause here. Mousesports to work out what the players. Actually, Fazeclan has called this one. They're third out of the four available. Number 25, you're just joining us. This is the 0-1 game. Important for these 2 teams as well. Both legendary sides and looking to do what they can here. Fazeclan especially, going down 0-2 in here, that would be a huge deal considering the form we saw in the group stages at Cologne, right? That was when they had to go through the very last round, and it was touch and go considering the way they were playing at that tournament.
I said the word slump. That's probably a stronger word than required, but definitely a drop in form.
Yeah, I think it was the correct word. Either way, Rain, he gets the first frag there. This is the 4 spy from Mousesports, 5-on-4. As we enter number 25 here. No kits available for Mousesports, just a note as well, and limited. It's up to Chris J now, the AWP, to try and get them back in this round.
So Kerrigan had jumped across to give Alu the angle from the dumpster. Dennis is watching Ivy, but he's inside of the smoke. 3 players from FaZe want the position. Keo goes aim in there for, and Rain already down the ladder at Pop Dog is going to try and work in. Make the split a possibility. All the utility being deployed at Ivy. Chris isn't exactly sure where to look. He thinks he may have to give support to Dennis, but he's the main gun at the front of the site. He needs to keep his intentions clear. The only thing clear was a bullet to the brain as Rain walks out from Pop Dog. Oscar, stuck in hell. Strikes back, though. He takes down Kerrigan at close range. Dennis does the same on 2. It's Kiyoshima. A kill that evens things up, but in the flurry of the exchange, makes up for the deficit by which was overcome on the Mousesports side.
Yeah, bomb down as well, 30 seconds remaining. Dennis with the AWP. He's actually in a decent position. He can look at the bomb. Robs, though, needed to buy himself more time there. Dennis had that one set up for him. Made them work for the bomb, then Rob shows his hand. I feel like that's a bit of a mistake, but that smoke could be a lifeline. Dennis can still win this round.
That's a huge blunder, but Rain reads it. Swings out, hits the shot, 13-12. Money on the other side of things now is broken. So Mousesports had an advantage at 13-11, or rather 13-10, excuse me. And FaZe have returned serve, broken them down, and have a chance to tie the game late. Better late than never, but it's still not comfortable for FaZe.
Absolutely. I feel like Rob's could have done.
Full save I think has to be in order because they're at 2K, but they'll want to buy in the next.
Definitely. Yeah, you wouldn't force this. You've got 2-round loss bonus, and it's not match point. You don't have to force. We'll see what they can do, though. 1 PP50 purchase. And they will be stacking towards outer, 1 on the inside bomb site. Fazeclan very slow in their approach here. Nico and Carrigan working towards Ivy in the first pick, which typing up at 13-13. Alu finds the third, and that should be the round done. Not really much Mousesports to do about this.
Rob spots an entrance toward E-Box. Needs to go down on ladder as well. Lowell gets damaged tremendously by that. AK picked up, bomb down. Chance to do some economic damage at the very least, but they're going to swarm him and win the round either way. They do it without losing anyone further. So now we have our 13-13 scoreline. Guns carried over, money built for FaZe side. And the full save, as you said, only with 2 rounds. Now the third puts them around the 4K mark on the CT side, which isn't enough for an AWP. No one's got the money for it. Actually, Dennis could, to be fair, but it'd be glass cannon. And I think I'd rather have utility this late in the game to slow FaZe.
4K on average per player. They do have 4,900 on Dennis. Could afford to take another eco here. Look at the bigger picture. Get the full buy, the double orbs. That's working very well for them. But that does put FaZe kind of touching distance after victory. It'll be 14-13. Looks like they'll be going all in. Dennis makes the first move. M4's coming out. Oscar down to a UMP here. Keeps money about the 2K mark. So the AWPers at least, hoping they can pull through with this round, with just limited buys. So Chris J saves his money about 3K as well. Buys a 5-7 armor. If they lose this round, they know they can bring the AWPs out into the next. That'll be the final chance for them. But here we go. 2 M4s, make it 3, and a UMP. Do anything special here? Well, not set up yet as Nico finds the first kill. Very fast approach here from FaZe. Looking to find a second frag.
Down goes Lowell. Kiyoshima gets inside towards Sandwich. Smokes toward Ivy as well for Chris and Dennis to contend with. Chris only on the 5-7. Has one of 2 kits. This should be a save. If they want to play the long game and pull themselves back into it, they concede the lead by 1 point to FaZe in doing so. But they'll give themselves a much better chance in the next round. Their only chance, to be honest, in the next round. And they'll spread out as well. That way, if they are found, there's no chance of all of them losing weapons.
Indeed. They save the weaponry here with Chris J with money in the bank as well. He can bring out the AWP, and I guess this is pretty much like Eco in this round. If they can just save these 2 weapons, they'll be, well, should be fine, I should say. But FaZe can take the lead now in a very back and forth game. FaZe not looking to dominate themselves, but Alu, he has been hitting shots in this second half. Finds Chris J. Not a huge deal, only the 5-7. Still limits him. Dennis does manage to stay alive there just about as he finds Nico. It's going to be 14-13 now. Lots of money available for Fazeclan. Almost a non-issue at this stage as well, with them all encroaching on 5 figures. Orbs coming out for Oscar. This will be it now. Everyone's fully invested. 3 M4s, a FAMAS AWP. Dennis with the AK-47 as well. Basically looking to close this game out. Overtime very likely at this stage as well, I'll just point out.
It's definitely a possibility.
Oh, hit him.
Certainly did. Alu's tagged down to 18. So Oscar, if you will, has won the exchange. Keo and Nico going to work together at top ladder. All is down below. Flashed, popped in case they dropped. Hoping to time it right. They haven't. Palm still down as well toward the stairs at T-spawn. So FaZe will have to go back and gather that, but for now it's information. It's all about information. Keo's tagged on 59, by the way, as well as Alu, so they've lost the early damage. Keo has left Nico to his own devices to guard what, to be fair, is quite easy to guard, the top of the ladder. Rain will throw a Molotov out. Bounce it straight down on the inside of Pop Dog. Spreads quite well, actually, because Lowell is actually being tagged by it. It's forced all the way in. It's very well thrown from Rain, and that's perfect because Rain's Flames hits, and if they don't, they spray into the corner, the only place Lowell could have gone.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that a lot. 5 and 4 now. Still low HP. This could fall apart for FaZe, but we're finishing off towards inside. As I normally said, Carrigan, he's towards Ivy, trying to do what he can, but Rain hitting shots once again. It's up to Oscar now, the AWP. Rotates in, needs to find something here. I think Alex spotted him and hits him as well.
Nearly gets the kill all the way through. Oscar, AWP still in play as Dennis took down Alu. Bomb planted. Point for FaZe if they can hold the post plant positions. Chris J is going to make that harder. And he's going to rotate all the way back through CT at this point, or is he considering the save?
I think he is. He must be.
That's an interesting call with Oscar so close and so much on the line. Chris has called for it. Oscar's going to miss another shot. I was going to say, if you got another kill, giving them a real chance. He's got to run. He's got to book it. With the AWP, they're going to be chasing him down. That's a weird call from Chris. I have to say, that's very early.
It is very early. With Oscar in that position, you're absolutely right. He just gets one kill, at least being CT spawn, ready to strike if required. Rain with 3 kills there. I thought we had a few more twists and turns in that round, but that's going to be a match point now for FaZe.
Oh, they got him. He was in the open.
The orb down as well. That's a disaster. They still have 6k for Dennis. He'll probably drop the AWP over. Still not looking too good now. 1 round away. FaZe will be 1-1. Mousesports will be 0-2. Pressure is on. 2 to take us to overtime here. Now, of course, with the AWP. Final buy comes in. UMP for Robs. Famas for Lau. AK-47 for Chris J there. Love that play from FaZe. Just getting towards inside after getting the first pick there. Lovely play with the Molotovs towards Popdog. It's another fast outside execution here. It's going to be just Krakor by himself for now. He loves to be baiting these plays out. His teammates play towards outside. If he gets 1 kill, that's a cue. Even if he goes down as well. He hasn't been that convincing on these plays. Ivy last round as well. Went down straight away. Trying to pull rotation, sure, but very rarely finds kills.
Oscar and Rops stand tall for Mousesports, leaves it down at just Nico. Finally, they firmly control around. Remember, they were back and forth at the start of the half. We went 3-3 to start it off, and then 2 rounds for Mouse. Looks like they had the momentum because that's when they broke FaZe. But this run of 5 has made things awkward. Important, therefore, they keep all 5 alive. Or 4.
Yep.
Keep 4 alive.
Keep all 4 alive. Well, we'll see if Nico finds anything in this round. I don't think he will. It's almost redundant. He even limits them that much. They're going to keep 4 players alive regardless. But there it is. We're going to round number 30. That was the outside fake there. Not so much a fake, just Karrigan, as we said, on T-side train, and most maps in fact as well. He likes to go towards certain positions, key choke points about by himself, smoke out, a few swings with his teammates as well, and he'll try and get his way and navigate towards the bomb site, try and get that 1 pick. If he gets it, it looks amazing, because then he pulls the rotation from inside, his teammates ready towards inner, and the previous round he does towards Ivy when they're ready to do the same thing, but didn't really work out from that previous. So when they get the first kill, then Rops stepping up towards inside with the UMP, gets 2 frags, wins a round. As I said, overtime, very likely indeed. The coach is now on to chime in. Nothing really being said by LMBT though, from what I can see. Very quiet there. Maybe they've already got the game plan in mind. They're on the CT side, so double orb setup coming out once again. Chris J and Oscar with those weapons, of course. Alu, same story. Kiyoshima, 8 kills, 18 deaths. He has had a very quiet game. I thought it was just because it was CT side, but T side hasn't really delivered too much either.
Yeah, he's definitely not on form right now. 8 kills total. 3 kills since we last mentioned it. 30 kills, meanwhile, for Rain.
That's not bad.
Yeah, player of the game. Still doesn't exactly make up for one player not hitting shots. Keo being said player. This time you could argue he is the problem. And he's going to go back out to Oscar. He slow-peaked this last time.
Yeah, surely learned his lesson.
Oscar's playing an even tighter angle this time. It's normally the wide peak to look toward the tanker, where originally that's where operas were playing to catch them off. So maybe Keo was expecting that, hence why he went for the very slow peak. But you might be right in learning his lesson, because he's not going to go for it at all. He's going to wait for his team to be ready.
Just thinking about it.
Oscar hits this shot, and with Rops in the sight,
Smoke's coming out.
Overtime is a possibility. Smoke does come out. Oscar knows that his chances of finding anyone in that position are gone. Molotov, so they can't push through the smoke and take down Rops. They won't commit yet. Halu and Nico are at the bottom of the ramp, but I think they're going to be a distraction because Popdog and Bomb have something in common in that they're both in the same spot of the map. Lowell, Rops, they win their duels, but Rain's sneaking in. He's been found. It's going to be overtime because Lowell's got Kiyoshima as well. 15-15. We aren't done yet.
Certainly not. Decent hold there from Mousesports. We question Chris J's decision to be saving weaponry at the key point of the game as well at 14-13. It works out for him though. They managed to hold strong and push it to overtime. Everything's reset. Standard rules here. 10k MR3. First to 19 at the top of your scoreboard. 18-18, we do it all over again. Sides do not swap. Into the first round momentarily. Headsets come off for now, so probably a bathroom break at this stage. But Mousesports managing to hold on. Very impressive in the first half, actually winning the T half to open things up, and we thought it could slip away from them, but here we are.
FaZe have the smallest splatters on the planet.
Yeah, they're commonly in the bathroom, aren't they?
They were doing so at the start of this game as well. I don't remember which players. I know there was 3 or 4 of them. I think Dennis is gone to do the same. Not our first overtime in the major. I think we had one at least yesterday.
Yeah, Mortals Astralis.
Yeah, the last game of the day, of course. That's the way it always works.
Yeah.
1917 for Astralis. They and SK both, if you want to call them the favorites, I would say with the form FaZe are in right now, those are the 2 front runners. Both struggled in their opening match.
Yeah, absolutely. SK against Penta. Not the most convincing result for them. 16-13 in a game they arguably should have lost, considering how some of the rounds went down. Caldera bailing them out a few times. Very good performance from him, but I felt like Penta had control of that situation after going 10-0 down. Astralis, you're right, and then going overtime with Immortals as well. But they are a very good team in their own right, but you'd expect the current major champions to be able to take them down. But still, Immortals, always a bit of a dark horse. I was about to say at these majors, it's actually the first majors I've ever been to. That's kind of a crazy thing to think. I've tried to qualify for 4 in total, I think, and only made it here.
Yeah, that is actually shocking. But to have an overtime game against Astralis when they did arrive is not bad.
No.
I'm sure they wanted the better result, obviously. But yeah, that is... I mean, I think Heather Sapphire had really good footage. I think obviously PGL does as well from the production, but the emotion just from qualifying that we got out of that team.
Yeah.
About as emotional as I've seen a team get lately.
Yeah, it meant a lot to them. Everything we really said in this game, at least. FaZe not looking their absolute best. Some of the key names missing from the serve at the moment. Giyashima especially hasn't really delivered a world-class performance. Alu in the first half very quiet, carrying in on 12 frags as well. He's been trying to sell fakes on either side of the map on the T side. I feel like teams have just got his number on those sort of plays now. He's by himself and doesn't really seem to be selling too much at all. But almost ready to get back into this. Chris J sits down, leisurely pace. As I said, the teams do not swap over. So let's talk about the CT side on train. Overtime needs to be a little bit careful. The double AWP setup, obviously always viable, but with this sort of money, when you have 10k and MR3, double AWP setup, lose that first round, you're extremely limited. You could be on pistols by the third. You need to work out what's best. You'll see almost all the players get no head armor. There's not going to be any SMGs up against you. So you try and save money. Probably only 1 or 2 kits, because like we discussed before, diffuse kits in this game have gone up in price compared to previous iterations of CS, $400 a piece these days. Buys starting to come in. Not everyone's even sat down. We are getting some buys there.
Just to go back to your point about Immortals making it, Brazil, therefore, is the 2nd highest represented country at this event with 10 players.
With Denmark at 11?
Denmark at 11, exactly. Yeah. And just behind that, Russia with 9.
That's right, yeah. Well, there you go. Vega and Navi, of course.
Vega, Navi, Gambit.
And Gambit, yeah. You're right. Well, it looks like we're good to go. I can hear the unpause coming in as we enter the first round of overtime. I said it was likely we found ourselves here. Alu, 22 frags, looking to increase that number. Double AWP setup does come in, just to note as well. Chris J doesn't buy any grenades. That suggests he's going for a bit of a hero play here, Matt. He might be going for a straight-up push, knowing if he goes down, he doesn't want to invest in any sort of utility whatsoever. That decent spawn could push Ivy.
Flip side is also in on the Russian.
Yep, that's
so
right.
they've got the four teams.
Lots going on there.
Chris J, fast play, you called it. AWP, he's going to go directly out to try and push. First round of overtime. FaZe woke up late and pulled this back, but it's not been convincing, and Chris does catch Kerrigan. First time they've pushed him all game, and it's now of all times. Time to go unorthodox, time to catch them off as Alu. He's going to work in front, A main. T-side at AWP getting aggressive on entry. Bomb still waits back by spawn, so they have to get an equalizing pick. Spots one on the train. I think he may have been seen in return, so quick coordination, double peek. Lowell finds him from below the E-box.
I like this from Mousesports. We haven't seen much of that towards Ivy. Christian, like I said, getting no nades, meaning if he does go down, he doesn't lose $1,000. He knows he's going for that aggressive pick. If he gets it, great. That's worth not even having utility, right? He's got the AWP. He's fighting regardless. And it just saves him a bit of cash going forward a little bit deeper into this overtime. 5-on-3 now. Nico's still alive, though. Always going to be a dangerous factor for FaZe. Csgo, maybe not so much. The way he's playing right now, I'd just be happy to get 1 kill. We'll see what happens. 5-on-3. Smoke's deployed. Flashbang's available still. He'll come in. Here can find some kills in overtime. All will be forgiven him. 25 seconds remaining. The final point will be towards outside. Also deployed as well. Rain with the final flashbang. Surely someone's going to make the move here.
Good flash out from Rain. Self-flash. Didn't land the first shot, but assessed the fact that it was behind the train and the spray was far. Went for the close target instead, so at least gets one that's traded. Nico, top train, finds Chris J, but he's all alone. He'll have to find 4 in the round if he wants to win it. Bomb down near the train in 13 seconds. There's no need to overcommit to the peaks. And as he gets closer, he's going to be flanked out by Dennis. Doesn't even need to get that far. 1-0 Mousesports in overtime. 16-15 overall.
Good job, Mousesports, recovering the orbs as well. 3 players surviving. It's always a CT side where it's difficult to manage the economy. They did a very good job there. Slow approach from FaZe, a default if you like, just trying to get the key choke points under their control. Pushing towards Ivy, Christian to get that first pick. And they managed to get the second as well. I think it was Rops to pick that one up. 1-0 here. 3 rounds played on either half. So, all for Alu once again. Not surviving the previous round, but see whether he can open things up. Might be a change of pace here. There's more players heading towards inside of Pop Dog. All 5 in fact, so this could be a full-on execution to kick things off here. No Karrigan antics towards Ivy. He wants to be part of the action this time.
Hit B hard. Rops will be inside. He's done best when he stayed aggressive, so going to the passive angle, remember he was overwhelmed here last time because they went through flames. Alu gets Oscar down, he goes back to the aggressive position. Only managing 1 kill though before Rain responds to then plant the bomb and mistimed Molotov. Means the smoke due to dissolve within the next 5 seconds. And Karrigan, with no flames to protect, has Dennis walk through and find the gap. I was a little early on my timing, that smoke's been there and lingering longer, but it's the advantage nonetheless to Mousesports. The tanker's going to get the information early when they cross toward the site. No need for Nico to peek out. He'll watch the high ground. There's the information called. He goes down, though, is the problem. Not even a single kill. It's going to make Nico's job very challenging. Molotov'd off it, and he absolutely cannot. Nothing he can do. Has to concede and just try to save the AWP at this point. More so as he's on the T side. And it's 2 straight rounds for Mousesports. Money is tight. FaZe are in a tough position.
That's actually kind of sick for Mousesports. It wasn't an incendiary. They picked up a Molotov and coming for the retake. I just spotted it just as they're coming in as well. You think, oh, Nico, up around, bomb down, hits 1 shot. He's into this one. As soon as I saw that Molotov, I just knew it was game over. No chance he's going to win that. Everyone knows it'll be towards that upper ramp area. Here's the initial shots from Oscar and Alu. Nice refrag from Alu, but not enough to win the round. Bomb gets planted. That's some good news, at least, as we'll see. There is enough for the AKs, and they saved AWP as well. Means they get a decent buy just about. Alu with no head armor as well. Obviously, they have to spend a lot more. It's 2-0 in favor of Mousesports. Looking very promising for them. Final round of the first half of overtime now.
Leg shot gap anyway. It wouldn't have been a kill, but thought Alu might have got a chance to pull the trigger. Cops an aid down to 75. Run boost this time from Karrigan. More traditional, just gets him across, not like they were doing with Oscar. Alu making jump noises, has Chris getting closer. The double up opens again. Chris fires beside his teammate. Rain's in the corner. Molotov won't extend, but they watch it. Good shot, Rain. It's going to open him back up and allow him some room to wiggle. Otherwise, he was down and out. It would have been a 5 versus 3. It goes still the way of Mousesports on the next kill as Dennis makes up for it. They have the site control. Bomb still back toward T-spawn. And no entrance from Karrigan, who gets more aggressive at Ivy. But Oscar's going to play passively and hold the angle as he does get in position. Oscar on the AWP gets baited out by the shoulder. Karrigan now knows he's there. Flames instead. Imagine Oscar goes backtracks to hold, and they'll get more aggressive on top. Trains inside so they can watch when he enters from Ivy, but still have eyes on Nico, who gets forced by the incendiary. It's 30 seconds to work with, and only 2 left alive. Keo will at least catch off Chris J. A-Site still the target as bomb works in from A-Main. Kerrigan's the one to hold it, but Oscar is going to make Kerrigan the last alive, and Dennis finds him climbing up a ladder slowly.
Great work by Mousesports in his first half of overtime. 3-0 there. Decent rounds as well. Fazeclan, they seem to have dropped off in that T-side. Where are the executions? Where was the assertive, faster players? All just defaulting, getting picked off one by one. Really lackluster first half for them there. Not done quite yet, of course. They can still get the 3-0. No reason why they can't give Mousesports the same treatment there. But Mousesports, great stuff to kick things off as well. That first gun round, mixing things up. Chris J towards Ivy. He actually had a tremendous amount of shots in overtime there. Pushing in and is setting the tone for the half. 3-0. One round will do it for Mousesports. As you'll see at the top, 18-15. It's 1st to 19 in this rule set. 18-18, we do it all over again. Let's get into the second half, though. We'll have a look at the buy for the CT side. Not going for the double orb, sort of like Mousesports did. Kerrigan can double orb with him, but not known to be a superstar, but just decent enough. But there we go. Oscar looking towards the main entrance, seeing if anyone does dare pick from Ivy.
Distant echoes of a tapping M4.
It's a double stack again, Matt, what you enjoying.
I do. This boost was brilliant last time because you'd never expect it climbing the ladder, and even if you climb the ladder, there's nothing you can do when you see it.
And it means that he can go on that pallet, his teammate can cover him as well. But if CT's pushing in, he can just concentrate on his role of getting those picks towards the Ivy position. That's quite cool.
No one goes up this time to fall victim. Oscar heads in. Chris, Molotov, sandwich as Nico sits above the ladder. He won't be affected by the flames, but he won't have any movement. He won't be able to fall off until they extinguish. They have now, so first shot in. He can jump down, checks, baits the shot from the op, and he's going to push in Oscar, but watch the flank. Oscar hits it anyway. As Kerrigan actually moved into position to make sure no one could slip through sandwich. Chris goes the other way instead. It's Kiyoshima down. It's Alu and Kerrigan to try and save Fazeclan. They might get swept 4-0 in overtime. They do pull one back. Alley with a quick shot, but he's stuck on a ladder. They know where he is. In the open, he finds one, but he's down to 56. It's an AWP from Oscar that won't hit a shot. It's the AK that looms large and makes the play. Erupts to get the kill. 19-15, and Fazeclan are 0-2 at the major.
Losing to Big yesterday, and now Mousesports as well. FaZe not looking amazing form right now. That's another lackluster performance with some of the key names not turning up at all. And I feel like the overtime performance as well, the call's a little bit off. They experimented some of the fakes. It wasn't working out for them at all. Didn't see much in terms of like assertive execution or even fast rushes, allowing their star players to get out in the open and find those kills. Defaults. And it felt like Mousesports were very comfortable with that and dictating the pace on the CT side. It shouldn't be happening like that. Disappointing for Fazeclan. 0-2 now at the major, the event where it all really matters.
Unacceptable.
Everything else is to build up to this.
And everything else went so well up until Cologne last week. We saw a little chink in the armor, and apparently that's been torn clean off.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable for them as a top 4 team. Someone that we think absolutely had a chance to win the whole event, and they have work to do. Kerrigan has to go back to the drawing board. These guys have to recover quickly. And a reverse sweep required of the Swiss system just to make the playoffs.
Similar story from Cologne, isn't it? Had to go through on round number 5, and it's going to be a very similar situation if they make it through at this tournament as well.
I would say with double the amount of pressure.
Yeah.
All things considered, I think that the field here as well is extremely talented. I think that the teams that have made it through, I said it. I mean, look, I think there's undoubtedly we get a qualifying team into the playoffs in either G2 or Cloud9, but you know, Penta's looking good, Big's looking good. Everyone's a threat. There's no easy games, and FaZe are not up to the task right now.
Well, I even said coming into this game, I kind of favoured Mousesports a little bit there, and I guess you still call that an upset, even though we expected Mousesports to win, you still can't really believe it when it actually happens. So we can talk about this all day, Matthew, but we'll throw it over to the panel to see their thoughts.
Thank you very much, gents. Yes, Game 2 is concluded. Our commentary team will stay in place for Game number 3. It's the CIS Derby. Before then, we've got our panel members back to break it down from a very interesting match indeed. FaZe are 0-2. Who thought we'd be saying that on day 2? I'm sure these two gentlemen didn't. Natu, Jason?
I didn't.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, this is quite a surprise.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I guess we talked about FaZe just not looking good, you know, at Cologne, and now even yesterday not looking good as well. I think this is just like, I didn't expect it to continue. I expected them to focus up, but this is a game where it just feels like they're missing something with teamwork. And I mean, let's start with the good things for Mousesports, because they did actually just flat out win this game. They dominated a critical portion of the map, pretty much on both sides, but especially, I mean, this is perfect. Oscar on top of the server grabbing this pick. He did this all game long, was just taking out a defender, exploiting the map control it provides, and it's crazy how much attention FaZe gave it in the sense that they've had Alu there with an AWP, they had Kerrigan helping out, they had Nico behind the green train just waiting to help out to set up a crossfire, and none of those setups worked. And when you lose Ivy and Ali as a portion of the map on your defense, that entire outer bomb site just breaks down. It really makes, no matter where else your teammates are playing in the entire outer bomb site, they're so susceptible to being pinched. It makes everyone feel uncomfortable. And outside of a couple heroic rounds, I mean, you have to say, Kerrigan and Kiyoshima, both of them in the 30s for ADR, which, I mean, it's just, they had some rounds where they had impact in terms of the kills they got at the right time, but just not really doing it at any kind of level to slow down attacks, not doing enough damage to help out their teammates, not good on rotations. That was a very rough performance for both of them.
Yeah, we've seen a few performances, Natu, of players that have picked up huge kills, and yet they're on the losing side. We saw it yesterday with North. We've seen it again with Rain here, picking up 33 for FaZe and losing the match.
Yeah, Rain has to be really frustrated. Once again, having a massive game. We spoke about this before the game. Train is a map where he really, really does excel. And once again, just being all over the place. But for me, like, the big issue in the first half is, first of all, you win the first round. You end up with 7 at half. And a lot of those teaching rounds were off of just miracle plays, like you were saying, Jason.
The Kerrigan round.
Got Kerrigan in the smoke for 3 HP, going around, getting a kill on the box and towards the bomb site. And then I felt like Mouse never really had to even execute. Like, they would just pick apart that defense before there was anything that they really need to worry about, because FaZe was giving them so many unnecessary duels, left, right, and center. Nico going through aggressive in Ivy, for example, in a potential reset round, getting picked off. It's a 4 or 5. It's like, you keep giving your opponents a lot of opportunities. But it's a fine line, obviously. These guys are super skilled. You kind of want them to be taking duels, but then you have to find that balance of, okay, if we are losing the battles early on, do we need to tone it down a little bit, you know, trying to force our opponents to actually come to the bomb sites to take the fight once they do? Because if you're not winning the duels, then you're just going to look dumb.
And it was an inability to set up the crossfires from there, really, which hurt them. After, if you're not going to win the duels, you have to have those crossfires set up, and we didn't see him very much. And yeah, if Rain's not alive in this match the way he was, they probably don't even get close to overtime. As well, he did a great job of, while they lost control of Ivy on their CT side, when they switched over to T, Rain was a monster towards ladder. I mean, Lowell has to be having nightmares of Rain in this game.
Be having nightmares
Lowell had a great game outside of that as well, but just that matchup was really rough for him in the ladder.
Yeah, 21 deaths. I think 20 of those were to Rain. In that game. Anyway, let's catch up with the winning in-game leader and member of Mousesports. Chris J joins us from the player area. Congratulations, Chris. That's a fantastic. Is that the best win since you've taken over as the in-game leader?
I would say so, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's certainly the most important one. I mean, what's more important than a major, right?
Absolutely. And 2-0 now. Could you, in your wildest dreams?
No, we're 1-1.
Are you?
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, you got him excited. Why have you done that?
Well, damn it, Chris, for maths.
Well, in Colombia,
you're right. I was thinking it was a 1-1-1-1, but you're right.
The thing is, in Cologne, we also went 2-0, so, I mean, that doesn't mean shit.
No, that's true, it doesn't. You've still got a long road to go.
Yeah.
But that's a good performance overall. How is the team coming together around you and fitting together? I know we've spoken before, but just for the benefit of the viewers at home that maybe don't know what you've gone through and the changes that you've made to the team.
Well, that I made of the team, I mean, I didn't make any of the changes, like player-wise, but the changes came, and I adapted. The team adapted very well, I would say. I think things are working really well. I think we had really nice T-side now as well on train. I felt like it's the first game where I actually caught pretty good. I would say I was kind of proud of myself.
Okay, you seem quite proud of yourself. And I saw you smiling a couple of times in the early rounds.
Yeah, but everybody was just playing good, you know. Yeah. We picked them everywhere. Oscar was getting picks. He's standing right there. He was doing a really good job. I mean, other side of the map the same. So it was like kind of easy to call. Like sometimes say, guys, okay, regroup, let's do something together. But yeah, FaZe, they gave us the opportunities and we took them.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Now, I don't want to take anything away from you because you did play well as a team, but that wasn't the best we've seen from FaZe, was it?
No, that's true. No.
Okay, I've got Moses and Natu alongside. I'm sure they've got questions for you as well.
Yeah, how do you prepare against a team like FaZe? So you know you're going to be up against a lot of duels. You know, they're going to be stretching, taking wide angles, you know. And even when you don't expect it, they'll be taking the duels. Like, how's that to prepare against?
Well, to be honest, we even the unexpected duels we expect from them. So we didn't really prepare that much. We just knew that we had to be on our toes, T side, maybe not be too aggressive at the start, like let them make a move and be ready for any of their moves. And we kind of were, like in team mid, I never really got caught off guard. In early, my guys never got caught off guard. I think the same goes for like the guys inside and above pop. I mean, obviously FaZe sometimes got kills, but most of the time we came out ahead. So we didn't really prepare specifically for this map even, but we knew how to play against a team like FaZe, I would say.
This is a map train you guys are now 3-0 on, but before the major qualifier you hadn't played it once. Is this a map that you guys like put specific work into to try and improve, or is it just something you kind of discovered that you're a strong team on?
Yeah, we were just kind of practicing a lot of different maps, also train a lot, and train practices always went like way better than other maps, even though we were not really focusing on a map. We were like thinking, okay, Mirage, Cache, those maps are like our best maps, you know, but it didn't really turn out that way in practice and in officials, and we just figured, okay, let's start playing train and official, and we just feel like super comfortable on CT side, T side. I mean, this game we were also really comfortable. I would say we were kind of disappointed with 8-7 only. I think we should have gotten at least 10 rounds, but yeah, both sides just feel really good. Everybody in the team wants to play the map, and that's important, I think.
In a more general question, what's it been like for you transitioning into becoming an endgame leader? I always find it interesting the people who haven't done that role and are kind of thrust into the situation.
I mean, I did the role before, like when I played with my Dutch teams, but it's a long time ago and obviously a very different level. But it's like really hard in a way, but then again, it's not so hard because I have like a really good coach. He's teaching me so much about it. I have extremely good teammates who I don't need to tell so much about how to do it. It's not like I'm saying, go here, go here, go here, stuff like that, you know, which I imagine a guy like Gobi is doing more in the sense that he's really setting out the plan for every guy in the team, nearly. And I'm giving the guys way more freedom, just trying to keep everybody together, keep everybody focused on doing things together. Yeah.
I could actually ask a question for days. Just one more really quick one. There's always the theory of, should oppers be in-game leaders? And as someone who's an opper, have you found that's impacted you when you use that weapon at all? Or do you see any extra difficulty in the role when you have an AWP? I know you're kind of the secondary opper now, but...
Yeah, that's the thing. On T side, I'm not the main opper. I think it would probably affect me, like especially the style of opping I used to play. It's like really aggressive and doing kind of random things. I cannot do some random things where I need to focus on my own crosshair and then at the same time call what the guys need to do, you know. So I think that wouldn't work out as well as it does now. CT side, it's like going well. It's not. I'm still calling CT side, but obviously less calling on the CT side than on T side. So and it depends. Like on train, I don't know. It's not like I need to say so much on CT side. Everybody, we just have our setups. I call maybe what setup I'm gonna play with LoL, and then it's outside. And during the round, I can just do my own thing, you know.
Should have bust out that scout every now and again, Chris. We haven't seen any of that action.
It's not many opportunities to bust out the
quite
scout,
well.
sadly.
Yeah, you should just sit at the back. You're in-game lead. You didn't have to frag anyway, right?
That's going well, so I'm good.
All right, buddy. Well, take care. Well done today, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 3.
Congrats, Chris.
Congrats.
See ya.
There we go then. Chris J and Mousesports have won their first game. My apologies to him for building up his hopes after losing yesterday. It was a close game yesterday, though, gents, wasn't it? So forgive him for that one. But more importantly, I think perhaps great for Mousesports, but let's take in the scoreboard and show you what happened in this game because it tells a story all of its own. Kyoshima having a very bad game again. And it's not the first one. It's the second one in a row. And Rain, 33 for 23 on the scoreboard. In any other game, that wins a match, doesn't it?
Hate to see it.
More than likely. I mean, certainly they're not even close to being in this one. This is another one of those situations where you almost feel like Rain could get the MVP in this match, even in a loss. Yeah, he's been so critically important. Even if you go back to Cologne when they're in the semifinals against SK, he was really the only one that showed up. So of these past 2 events, Rain's come to play. It's just a question. Yeah, it's a question of the guys surrounding him at the moment. And I mean, we've touched on it these past 2 games of FaZe that we've analyzed. It's just there seems to be some kind of focus that's within this FaZe team at the moment that's not on team play, that's not on teamwork. You know, trying to retake before your teammates arrive, trying to do things a little bit too quickly. Some very, very curious solo pushes at weird moments. So there's something. Maybe it's communication. And it
definitely something off though, isn't it?
Very well could just be a lack of focus at the moment within the squad.
Okay, MVP for this particular one is Rops. We picked him out. He's had 24-17, 80 ADR, and some pretty key kills throughout this one as well. When you look at this, this is a young man. He's 17 years of age, playing his first major in his second match ever. Not only does he pick up an MVP, and also an ace in this game as well. What can the guy not do?
When your surname is cool, you kind of have to perform, right? I mean, he's
got a good future, isn't he? Really,
he
Robin
really
Cool.
does, doesn't he? No, I mean, he was just an asset on that inner bomb side, outside, like on the T side. You know, just coming in, like the time, the knack he has to be at the right place at the right time, just seems to be there for him.
Yeah, and it's actually, I just kind of laugh every time, even watching the other Estonian player, whenever they clutch big rounds. I mean, they both had good performances, and every time they clutch, they're just no expression, no reaction whatsoever.
Complete robots.
HS the same thing,
why
right?
not?
Complete
It's great.
robots.
It's just like they just don't even realize what they've done almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, great game from him, phenomenal impact. Shout out to Oscar as well. Did not win in the official award here, but I want to give him a high five, virtual high five.
Virtual high five from Moses. He's in an extravagant mood today, is Moses. He's been very generous, very genial with all of his compliments today. I hope it continues as well as we head into match number 3, because this one is a derby. It's heading in to the CIS as we have Flipside versus Na'Vi coming next.
Coming up next, Flipside versus Na'Vi.
Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Grab your gear and let's go.
With the Strafe Esports app, follow your favorite teams and players, and you'll never miss a match again. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.
Oh, crap.
Exclusive Black Equalizer brightens dark scenes without overexposing bright areas. Use the S switch to quickly access the setting and switch between save modes.
I capture the pawn at e5. You lose your queen. Check. I think like a 40-year-old, and
Staszek, you could help in the kitchen instead of playing with that gizmo all the time.
she just won't let me play in peace. TP-Link connects with passion.
Agent Broughton, she's our best intelligence expert. We have a mission for you.
Shall we begin?
Blonde. Rated R.
They have no idea these are close. They're looking for more. That's a third one coming in. Looking for the quad kill and nearly gets it.
Stewie, yes, there's one headshot and there's another.
They're getting two big headshots, looking for more. Oh my god! And he's gonna go on Team T all the round of the weekend.
When the dust has settled, there are only a select few who leave their mark permanently etched into history. Mere mortals who all had their own unique paths in becoming eternal legends. The path to the top might be for the gamblers, those who make their own luck, the ones who whisper into probability's ear. Not today. Sometimes it is for the gifted, the ones who through sheer force of will and the laws of physics. And then there are the godlike, those who believe immortality is simply theirs for the taking, the ones for whom Valhalla joyously awaits. The gifted, the gamblers, the godlike. There is one thing all of you share with them, a common beginning. Are you next?
The best part about being a professional gamer is just being able to travel around the world, kind of experience different lifestyles and see different cultures. And for me, I feel like it matured me a lot by just traveling around the world and not take things for granted, because I get free travel and I get free food and just get to travel around the world. So there's nothing really you can complain about.
The worst thing I would say is you have not much time for friends you had before. You don't have much time for family.
We see a lot of different countries, different cities, different culture. Some things like people don't have the chance to see it even their entire life.
Talking about being a pro player, for me, the worst part, at least for us Brazilians, that we have to play in North America, 100% sure that is like being like far from your own family. And in my opinion, man, being Counter-Strike player, it's perfect. This is the only thing that is kind of bad, but we have breaks, we have vacations, so we have nothing to complain about. I mean, we play like Counter-Strike for a living. It's like a dream coming true.
The other part of it is sacrificing time, free time, probably sacrificing time with your family and stuff. Every one of us didn't see our family this year so much, so we will hopefully have time for that later.
And sometimes it's hard because we don't have a lot of holidays, to be honest. We have like maybe 4, maximum 5 weeks, and even not like in the entire year. We a lot of times don't have the weekend because we are in events.
You do what you love, that's the other side. You do what you love with your friends, hopefully. Like my teammates are also my friends. So these kind of things, doing what you love with your friends. And it was always for me like a big thing, even if I were studying, it's like if you work together for something, it's better than doing it for your own, because it's like the team spirit and all this other stuff is so important for me, and it's also great to achieve something together.
It's like your job, but almost like more than just a job. It's like 80% of your life. So sometimes it's good, but sometimes you would like to just relax, staying at home and enjoy like a normal life.
If I wasn't a Counter-Strike player, I don't know if I would ever like be here. So to meet new countries, new cultures, this is the best part of being a Counter-Strike player for sure.
So in order to become a professional gamer, you do have to sacrifice a lot, but at the same time, being honest with yourself and your parents is really important. And by being honest with yourself, I mean, do you really see potential in yourself going to become a professional gamer, or are you just wasting your time and actually forcing yourself to do something that you can't beat? So I think that's probably one of the most important things that you need to figure out first before you think about being a professional gamer. And there are a lot of hardships when it comes to traveling, because you don't get free time, especially for me as an inexperienced in-game leader now. I have to research a lot on other teams. You don't have time to go hang out with your team that much, or if you want to go out and explore the city, you don't have much time to do it. So I think that's one of the hardships that you have to overcome.
Наш буткемп проходил в городе Киев. Мы готовились к этому турниру в течение 2 месяцев. Достаточно плотные тренировки, тяжелый график.
Мы даже не считаем, что мы там лучше кого-то играем. Мы будем играть, просто стараться в свою игру и не думать о том, что мы там что-то выигрывали в прошлый раз, где-то хорошо выступали. Это не важно, потому что сейчас совсем другой турнир, и команда совсем по-другому подготавливается к этому турниру.
A very warm welcome back to the PGL Major Krakor. Day number 2 here of the Swiss group stages. 2 teams are very happy right now. 2 teams have got a lot to worry about after our opening matches. We're going to head into our 3rd match, of course, soon. It's Flipside versus Na'Vi. It's a prospect that I'm really looking forward to seeing how these 2 CIS masters go head-to-head. They've played 42 times before as organisations, so there's plenty of blood behind these 2 and plenty of banter, I'm sure. Before we get to the match, we are going to check in with our panel, and before we get to those, however, there is one member of our panel who's kind of like a floating god. He's got plenty of thoughts. This time, a Natus Vincera.
Natus Vincera, Na'Vi, is a team which on paper looks like a super team of the CIS region. It looks like if you wanted to pick out the most skilled players you could in that region, you'd take these 5 players. And that's why Na'Vi constructed this lineup. Problem is, they have no in-game leading approach that's been successful. They built this exact lineup in an era when the coach could be the in-game leader. And so their coach, Starix, was one of the best in-game leaders in the world. He had a fantastic style that he executed, this slow map control approach to the game. He could tell everyone where they needed to be within the round because he could communicate with them. And so the reason why they brought in Simple as their 5th player to be this superstar, dominant individual player was to add more firepower to that system. The problem is, because of the change in the rules as to what you're allowed to do as a coach, coaching has been severely limited. So no coach can be an in-game leader anymore. So immediately, that system has collapsed entirely. Seized took over as the in-game leader. but he's never been effective on any level as an in-game leader. And he's someone where he really struggled to implement that slow, classic Na'Vi style, and they've had to go away from that approach overall. Then you look at the lineup, and the very fact that they have so many weapons has been a factor that has neutralized the strength of those weapons. They don't have the clear one player who every game will dominate. Simple's an extremely talented player and can be the best player in the server, but they've also got someone who was used to playing that role himself in Guardian. He used to be the AWPer, who would always be set up to get the kills, he'd always be set up to dominate, and the entire style that Zeus and Starix implemented in Na'Vi was around getting Guardian going. But now that style doesn't exist anymore, and Guardian's at sea. He doesn't necessarily know where to go. His ability level is not the same as it was years ago when he could carry the team to major finals and really deserved to be a major champion in the past. Obviously something Na'Vi as a unit has never yet accomplished, despite making the final of some majors. And then you look at the lineup, and someone like Flamey, he was one of the most explosive, individually scary players in the world if you go to late 2015, early 2016. But that's no longer the Flamey of today, because that style came out of having Starix as his in-game leader, of having Starix as his coach, the player who was integrated by Starix into a classic system that already existed under Zeus. And so without Starix, the pieces in Na'Vi can't operate the same way as they planned to and as they did in the last lineup. Because the Na'Vi of a year and a half ago was one of the most tactically sound teams, was a very consistent team, and lived and died by this grinding offensive style of play. The new Na'Vi doesn't have any of those factors. They have a new coach who's working with them, and he's trying to find, is there a philosophy that fits this team more, that opens them up a little bit? And yeah, they've had some games where the team looked like individually they had more impact and they got to some of the potential that they have as a team. But there's a reason this team hasn't played in the final of a big tournament the entire time of 2017. It has been a year for them that, in terms of the talent level of the team, has been a bust. And they're also a team where at the last major, okay, they made it to the quarterfinals. That looked good. They didn't make it any further. They're a team that's looking at this tournament like making the quarterfinals would be successful, making a Legends spot, getting that qualification. They're not a team where they look like themselves. They think that they can go ahead and win this major. So the star player of Na'Vi is simple. And this is a player who legitimately might be the most mechanically skilled player to ever play Counter-Strike. Because his raw ability, his skill level is absolutely insane. I mean, it's actually quite famous when you watch him play. A lot of the top star players, they have the high skill level and they have the style of play that they're very accustomed with as to how they're going to get their kills. But on top of that, a lot of them have a very good sense for the game. And so you'll see their crosshair placement. It's always very close to the corner. They know the range they want to take a fight in. Simple doesn't even play that way. He plays with his crosshair all over the place. He plays in a very erratic manner, but his sheer skill level means that his hand-eye coordination, his ability to hit extremely precise, difficult, very high skill level shots